Hari Om to everyone. A very warm welcome to all the panelists and the moderator, and a very, very warm welcome to Sri Narasimha Prabhuji, the founder of Light of the Self Foundation. So, in advance, happy International Women's Day to everybody. We are actually doing this program a little early since it's coming in the weekend and the International Women's Day is on a Tuesday. So we will begin with the prayers. Request everyone to mute and join me. Om Antarjyoti Bahirjyoti Pratyak Jyoti Parat Parat Jyotireva Jyoti Swayam Jyoti Atma Jyoti Shivosmyaham Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So this panel is being organized by Jnana Jyoti, which is a wing of Atma Jyoti Vishwa Gurukulam founded by Sri Narasimha Prabhuji. And this is the very first program of Jnana Jyoti, and we are really, really pleased to welcome all of you, and we offer our gratitude for the blessings of Sri Prabhuji. So Purnima ji will be moderating the first English panel, which is for 1 hour duration. And immediately after the English panel, we will have a short break, and then we will also have a Kannada panel. So please please do log in for both the panels. We are going to have extremely interesting perspectives from different panelists, very distinguished panelists who are on our panel boards. So Purnima is a freelance journalist, and she has had explored many things in her career, including academics, teaching, TV media, print media, and so on. She is also very, very strongly rooted in Vedanta and is following the Advaita Atma Vichara Marga under the guidance of Sri Prabhuji. So I'm very, very pleased to introduce Purnima Kuntur to all of you, and I request her to take over and begin her panel. Welcome, Purnima ji.
Thank you, Vani ji. Thank you. Hari Om Prabhuji. Namaste Sharada Devi Kashmira Puravasini Tvamaham Prarthaye Nityam Vidyadanancha Dehi Me Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matrurupena Samsthita Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. Hari Om to all the panelists, Hari Om to Sri Prabhuji, Hari Om to all the virtual audience here. It's a wonderful day. So that all like-minded, spiritually oriented souls gathered here on this Sunday morning, fine Sunday morning. And so the occasion is International Women's Day. What does a spiritual organization have to do with International Women's Day? Everything, because we in the Light of the Self Foundation are in the business of spiritualizing everything, right? So that's our business. We spiritualize every aspect of life and society. And since because it's International Women's Day, the topic chosen for the day for this panel discussion is challenges women face in spiritual life, in pursuing their spiritual goals. Oh no, do we have to bring gender issues into a spiritual discussion? Yes, wherever humans are involved, there is conflict involved. There is no field which is bereft of conflict and confrontation where humans are involved, isn't it? So it's very much true in the Adhyatma as well. So when it comes to society and the norms, so it's very, very relevant that we discuss this issue here. And now today we have invoked the blessings of the Sadguru, as well as Sharada Devi, that is Saraswati Mata, as this is the very first program, launched by the Jnana Jyoti program. Jnana Jyoti, by the way, is headed by Vaniji and Vasuji. And so we need the blessings of the Sadguru and Sharada Devi for Atma Jnana, Atma Vichara, to continue our spiritual quest. And so International Women's Day, the Universal Mother has blessed us. Who else but she can bless all our endeavors in this, effort. So why are we discussing this topic? The background is the past year was declared as the year of the Rishikas by Sri Prabhuji. And in the AVSCs, we have been studying the lives and teaching of Rishikas from the Vedic ages. We have studied a lot about them. And it is so wonderful to note that since the Vedic period, women have always been in the forefront of everything. It is not in our culture to sideline a woman on the basis, sideline individuals on the basis of gender. Jnana has been the highlight. It's the mainstay of Indian spiritual, Indian culture is Jnana. So women were never barred from learning the Gayatri or the chanting the Vedas or taking the limelight. We've always been. It was not just lip service. We have always been deified. In fact, the feminine energy has been deified as the biggest, as the most powerful energy. But lately, while that was the case, and we have the women were side by side, they're equal partners in everything. Maybe in the past 300, 400 years, some prudishness has crept into society, and for some reasons, for probably influences from other cultures, and women have kind of taken a back seat. And whenever we talk of enlightened masters during those ages, we hardly come across too many women masters, right? And even when we read about Akka Mahadevi or a Mirabai, we kind of talk in terms of breaking social norms and defying society and things like this. Wonder why? Why should it be like that? And now, fortunately, in the present times, as we have moved to the 21st century, gender roles are getting blurred, and women are getting their due place in society. Though it's very, it's kind of uncomfortable to say that. What is there to claim our rights? I mean, it's always there, but still, if we are talking of a topic called challenges in spiritual life, it means there must be some challenge there, for women. Though in our own organization, the Light of the Self organization, we see women outnumber men, hopelessly outnumber men, more than 3 times, I guess. Most of the audience we have today are also women. Then why is it a challenge for women to come to the forefront? Why? All I can say is, women are quietly getting enlightened in their homes and managing their careers and kitchens and families in a quiet manner. They don't necessarily have to have the limelight in these things. But then this is a wonderful forum for us to explore these issues and air them, so to say, so that we get more clarity on these issues. So we have a very distinguished panel, today with us. All of us students of Sri Prabhuji, all of us seekers, spiritual seekers, and an all-woman panel to discuss this issue. As we go along, we'll introduce each panelist. We have Dr. Meenakshi Ravi, Srimati Satyavati ji, and young Vedantins, Rishikas, Shruti and Yashmita with us. So a hearty welcome, warm welcome to all of you. And this is the first round of this panel discussion, which goes like this. I shall introduce each panelist and invite her to share her views on this topic for a brief period, say 3 to 4 minutes. And then after the first round, we shall move to the second round and we shall discuss what the second round is later. Meanwhile, the audience is invited to share as and when you listen to the panelists, if any questions occur to you, please put them in the chat box. And we will have an opportunity to ask your question to the panelists later at the end of the second round. All right. So please feel free to put your questions in the chat box as and when they occur to you. So thank you so much. Brief introduction. And yes, by the way, let us all mute our devices so that only the panelists and people who are spotlighted can be heard. And so I invite the first panelist, Dr. Meenakshi Ravi. Briefly, all of us know her as a fantastic musician who livens up, our sessions with her beautiful Gayana. She's a renowned musician and she's a music therapist. With her, she's doing tremendous seva by teaching music to disabled or students, and making a tremendous difference in their lives. Srimati Meenakshi is also a Vedanta student. She's in the Dakshinamurti group, AVSC group under Vaniji, and she's doing, and her Nada Namana courses are hugely popular, and many students are learning wonderful bhajans from her. So request Meenakshi ji to share her views on this particular issue of challenges women face in spiritual life. Meenakshi ji.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Om. 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 Shuddha Brahma Vicharasara Paramam Adhyam Jagadvyapinim Veena Pustakadharinim Abhayadam Jadyandhakarapaha Hastaihi Spatikamalancha vidadati Padmasane samstitam Tvam vande Jagadishwari Bhagavati Buddhiprada Sharada. My humble pranams to lotus feet of Prabhuji, my Guru, and all Atma Jyotis. I'm very happy, and I don't know really what I'm going to talk, because I would like to share my own personal experiences of how challenges cropped in my life, and what God was so graceful to me. He bestowed a lot of resources to endure the challenges, to face the challenges, and and to increase and concentrate only on my inner strengths and to reach my goal. Basically, I was born in a middle-class Brahmin family with a lot of traditional values. And but we were brought up in a lot of freedom, you know. We were two daughters, and my parents were very broad-minded, and they gave me very good education. I was very good in studies, and I was very good in music. Both I was doing. And but I had very poor health since childhood. Though I don't look, my body suffered a lot since childhood with some sort of what do you say, infection, small only, but it was always there. It was part of my life. And asthma also. That was a physical challenge I faced. But I was always focused on getting up very early in the early morning and studying and practicing music, so disciplined and hard work. It really is, it's paying me now. And I did my master's in social work. I'm really blessed to take up that course because since childhood, I used to study Swami Vivekananda's books. And I was really, influenced so much towards spirituality since childhood. That's why I chose a master's degree in professional social work, which made me to, open the doors of sociology, psychology, in different dimensions, different branches of psychology, and practical experience of working with, children in remand homes, prostitutes in state home for women, leprosy patients, mental patients. My God, we had wonderful experience of practical, work, how to handle the patients, how to handle children with correctional problems. So many diversified experiences I was bestowed with to understand the dynamics of human behavior and to help them. So I decided, and this was my cake, to help others. So Loka Kalyana, what Vedanta says, it became integral part of my life, and I was bestowed with working with all these deprived section, so-called, and value conflict. I was very, 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 sincere, and I was always, I wanted to lead a very simple life, pious life, and do something for society, helping them. I got a guested officer job. I really want to share this with you. If I were to be in that position, Tahsildar grade, I was selected by Public Service Commission. If I were to be there, probably I would have become joint director by this time. But my value conflicts, and I got married, and marital life was also a challenge. Marital life and family life was a big challenge because I was overqualified in the family. They couldn't accept me, though I was very simple, and I wanted to blend with them, but they kept me at distance. That was the first challenge. Second challenge I had was with my job. All my people were so happy because I got a guested officer job among 320 candidates. I was the one in general merit selected without paying any bribe or such thing. I was so happy to join the job. But after getting into the bureaucratic setup, I realized that that was not for me, because a lot of corruption, a lot of hypocrisy, a lot of double standards. I couldn't get along with the job. So I resigned again. And, I would have definitely, continued the job if I had some, political support or something like that. But I never had anything except the God's support. So I had to give up for the sake of family also, because it was a touring job. I had to tour, and I had to leave my husband and children. So I left the job. So next alternative was counseling. I was the first family counselor in Karnataka. So started serving, deprived section, women and, the spouses which had marital problems and family disorganization. So I had to handle them. For 15 years, I served as a professional counselor. And I started almost 20 family counseling centers within 15 years throughout the state. It was a touring job, very, very challenging. I had to leave my children. And, it was so difficult. But fortunately, my mother was there always to support me. That's what I have been telling. Like, so many challenges I had to face because I was overqualified, and so many intricate issues with the spouse. So I hope it's a very sensitive issue, though we are living very happily after getting out of the clutches of family. Samsara Pashava Bidiskonda mele, we are very, very happy. Until that time, lot of conflicts. Okay, and I'm very simple. I'm very straightforward. But it doesn't work in the present materialistic world. Like everybody expects so much of glamour and luxuries and show off. So even in the family, like I had to face a lot of conflicts because of that. You wear like this, you do makeup. No, nothing like that. So a lot of all these personal issues, it cropped up, and I was always towards spiritual this thing, which in family they couldn't accept. Why she is like that? Something weird, something is not normal with her. That was the opinion everybody had with me. And even from my professors, because I resigned the government job, which was financially lucrative, and so I switched over to counseling, which gave me very, very minimum honorarium, but I was very happy with that. Very, very happy, because I used to listen to others' problems and I used to empower them, I used to accept them. That was a greatest lesson I learned, how to balance my personal life. When I started doing, Loka Kalyana Seve, I could balance my life. God took care of my life very well. Children were very good, very nicely. We could give them good education and make them self-reliant. But they started asking me now, you were so qualified. Why didn't you continue with government job? Because I didn't make crores of rupees. If I wanted, I would have done it, but I was not like that. I always wanted simple life and do something good and finish off the responsibility. So music always helped me to balance my life, professional life. Counseling, I got my doctorate, though it was so less honorarium. For 15 years I worked. I handled about 3,000 cases of women with marital discord. And all of them used to be very, very happy to come and share their problems and take my guidance. Next.
Meenakshi ji, wonderful. You have there's a lot more. I can see that you have a lot more to share. Yes.
Yes, I'll finish now. Yes. Again is music, and the resources I will share. So one is acceptance of women in family setup. When women wants to pursue her this one, spiritual path, it's very challenging, because we know that so many spiritual leaders, ladies who really transformed, who became one with the divine, they had a lot of challenges, but still they could achieve the goal of understanding the life and, this thing. The last one is the BMI, after coming to Prabhuji's class, it's so enlightening and it is so enriching that a lot of inner conflicts, it has really become nullified, I can say. I feel so relaxed and so, this thing, and I really want to contribute more towards music and also counseling and music therapy, whatever best I can do. This is in a nutshell, and just it. Thank you.
I think Meenakshi ji has highlighted the problems that women face in marital and career life. Wonderful, Meenakshi ji. We shall come back to you, after we are done with the other panelists. So sure. The next panelist is Satyavati ji. Satyavati has been, by qualification, she is a counselor. She has done her counseling with the Bandara Academy, and she has done past life regression therapy as well. And she has been a banker. And as a counselor and past life therapist, she has had a lot of interaction with human minds. So it will be wonderful to listen to what Satyavati has to say about challenges women face in spiritual life. Satyavati.
Hari Om to my Sadguru Prabhuji and all the Atma Jyotis, and of course the audience. So the introduction is already given by Purnima ji. I don't want to say more on that. As a woman, there is a barrier in a lot of areas of life, and due to societal norms, women always feel overpowered, suppressed, blocked, not supported, etc. Even though a woman holds a very good high position at offices, but back at home, she may always feel that she doesn't have the freedom to do all that she wants to do. And due to this juggling of life, career, work, etc., a woman hardly finds time to give for herself. And only those women who follow this path of spirituality know or have understood that this spirituality helps in all aspects of life, like it creates a space for healing, new possibilities, change, etc. It is something like the backbone on which we rely, but we hardly spend time to strengthen this backbone. It goes something like that. And we have also heard of, as Punimaji already pointed out, we have heard of many enlightened women in our country, the Rishikas. Do we think that they did not have any challenges? Of course, they had a lot more challenges than the present day women. But how is that they were able to do that? There is no separate spiritual life and personal life, as we are always told by our Sadguru Prabhuji. In fact, it is just a shift in the understanding at the mental plane, which can happen only through the teachings of Vedanta by an enlightened master, and I am the lucky one here. And also, as I grew up, I always thought that I am not following spirituality, because for me, there was no exposure to doing of any puja, rituals, chanting of prayers, celebration of any festival, reading of any scriptures, nothing at all. So I grew up thinking that, okay, I am not a spiritual follower. I am with the name, identity. I grew up. But actually, later only, maybe after the teachings of this Atma Jnana, I understood that spirituality has nothing to do with all this. Spirituality is to know who I am. What else is required to know my true self or the real self? To recognize that I am that Brahman, no other qualification is required but this precious human birth, which is already blessed to me. I have to only make use of this. And also, as I was growing up earlier, I had a lot of complaints about my life. I can call them as challenges also. For being a woman, how I wish if I were to be a man. I have thought this many times. Of course, it was earlier. So I used to feel that like, okay, I am suppressed. I don't have the freedom to do what I want to do. I actually wanted to do engineering. My father did not send me, saying that as a girl, a teacher job is enough for you because you have to take care of the family. So I had all such complaints. In fact, I fought with my father also for that. But now I don't have any complaints for any of the things which have happened in my life, because all these complaints or challenges or problems, whatever I thought were there for me, I have understood that they were all created me and only by me. Now, if I ask who is this me, this I have understood through the teachings of Sri Ramana Maharshi, the self-inquiry method. Who am I? So all these have helped me to go through the so-called challenges in life. The position where I am now, I can say that life is so beautiful and there is no complaint for me at all. And also, maybe I think I have shortened my talks because the time given for me was very less. So maybe I can continue later, little later. And also, I would like to end saying that there is no gender bias to follow spirituality. It is just a shift in the understanding that who I am. See, to know my real self, I need not be a man or a woman. This human birth is enough. And this can happen only through Atma Jnana. I need to just find a Sadguru, which I am blessed with. Thank you and Hari Om.
Wonderfully said. I think you have spoken for all of us again. Where's the need of gender I mean, I'm Brahman already. Brahman has no gender. Wonderfully said, Satyavati. Thank you so much. Then the next panelist I would call upon is Shruti, young Rishika Shruti. Shruti is a design engineer with Intel. I request her to share her intel about this challenges women face with this audience. And I want to remind the audience that they are free to post their questions in the chat box as and when they occur to them. Yes, Shruti.
Hari Om Guruji, Hari Om to everyone. I have very less amount of experience.
Shruti, you're muted.
Shruti.
Okay, sorry. So Hari Om Guruji, Hari Om to everyone. I'll repeat whatever I said. I have a less amount of experience in whatever challenges we face, but still I'll share my experience or my thought process with regarding this topic. Initially, when a woman starts her journey in spiritual life, like she wants to take a Vedanta or she wants to start understanding it, she is initially restricted by her family, friends, and surrounding people, telling that, hey, this is not meant for you, or this path is not suitable for you. And hearing these words, she feels like this confident woman, okay, I can do this, right? Then she feels like maybe it's not meant for me, right? She starts to doubt herself and she starts, is this the path which I was looking for, for the whole entire life? Then she restricts herself and she, starts enjoying or suffering in this Maya Loka. When she actually gains faith and confidence, okay, let's take a step ahead and understand what is the spiritual knowledge, or go to classes or understand Vedanta. Then again, her parents and surrounding people criticize that, hey, you're going to that classes, right? But you still possess anger, sadness, all instabilities. What is the use of the class you're going, right? So and again, she is also, as a woman in particular, according to this topic, the woman also faces this society norms, as they tell. There are all the myths, right? Women shouldn't meditate, women shouldn't say this mantra, or they shouldn't handle the japamala till some age of point, or they shouldn't do some spiritual practices, because all these practices will help in chitta shuddhi, but because of the society norms, they tell you should not do this because you are a woman. And also, if she is if a woman is married and if she's working, then she'll be having all the, she has to take care of work and life balance and all, and she has to take care of her children's, which reduces her bandwidth towards, the spiritual journey or attending classes. She'll be attending some classes and she'll not be, because of, she has to take care of her children, cook, or she has to take care of husbands or their in-laws and all. So it will be hard for her to keep a track of the spiritual life. So in conclusion, what I can say, in any person who starts the spiritual journey, it's really hard for them to keep a track in Vedanta. It's very easy to lose the track. But if we are, as we are attending classes, if we have a guidance of Sadguru and we have a satsanga, we will be in track a little bit. But when a woman wants actually give to 100%, wants to give her 100%, that time her body would have already aged and her mind would have already given up, telling that I don't think so I will find happiness in this life. And her intellect also would have been proving that, hey, look at around people, who is happy? No one is happy. So all these things will be contradicting her spiritual journey, as Guruji says, Nanu nanembudu nanalla, ಈ ದೇಹ ಮನ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ನಾನಲ್ಲ, ಸಚ್ಚಿದಾನಂದಾತ್ಮ ಶಿವ ನಾನು ನಾನೇ, ಶಿವೋಹಂ ಶಿವೋಹಂ. Even though she listens to all this spiritual journey, when I kind of agree that there should be no difference between spiritual life and the Maya Loka. But when we start the journey, right, we always start to differentiate it and see the things, how it is different or something. So when we start doing thinking, okay, nano nanembudu nanala, we start applying it, but we also start, the society also contradicts, hey, you are aged, hey, you can't do these things, or hey, you don't have plenty of time, hey, you have to take care of those things. And seeing all the surroundings, hey, why people are already unhappy, so I can also just lead the life like that, right? Or you can also enjoy this, because Maya is a very critical thing. Maya will take into it. You can see so wonderfully the the loka has been created by God, so you will always get lost in it. So it's always hard to keep a track when you are in a spiritual journey, and especially for a woman, it will be always it will be always hard, because you will have more responsibility. You should be more careful, and you will have more challenges faced. And we just say that it's 21st century, women will be having more freedom, but I always think that the people in the past, or in the old centuries, they were more broad-minded, because they were letting the women to do what they want to do. They were going to, as we see so many examples of rishikas. But in 21st century, as they say, but the women are restricted in so many things, in life or spiritual life. I think it applies to both. So yeah, in conclusion, I want to tell that women, as a person in general, everyone faces challenge, especially a woman faces more challenges. And with the guidance of a sadguru, and plenty of time to concentrate and know what is important in life, and give time for that, then and doing chitta shuddhi and following the steps whatever sadguru tells, we might at least progress. I can't tell that okay, we can get a mukti in this janma, or we can, there's no guarantee, right? We have to get 100%. We can't get 99%. Is not a pass mark in this enlightenment. If you're 100% also, it's not a pass. If you're 99% also, it's fake. So it's different. So yeah, if we progress in this life, maybe next time or some, we might get enlightenment also. Yeah, that is.
Shruti, you're making me feel very, I'm scared now. You're so young and you're already feeling so defeatist. No. What about me? Look at my gray hair. What about me? I'm already so much more into, my life, right? But you have got a head start. You've got a Sadguru so early in life. You're perfectly on the right track, my dear. So all is well, right?
Thank
Yeah.
All
And we'll come back to you with more questions. And our next panelist is Yashmita, another young Rushika who is fortunate enough to have had a Sadguru so early in her life. Yashmita is also a highly qualified professional. She's a financial professional and she's with Accenture. And I think between Yashmita and Shruti, they handle the Vedanta Study Circle Chinmaya as well. So they are so qualified to be enlightened in this very life. So we would like to hear from Yashmita now.
Thank you, Purnimaji, Hari Om Prabhuji, and Hari Om to all the Atma Jyotis. And thank you for giving us this opportunity to participate in this discussion. So as all the experienced panelists have said that the first challenge I also see is coming to this path, because we don't see so many, through our upbringing or the exposure we had, we don't see so many Rishikas or the working women or the Grihastha people, women participating in the Jnana Yagna or in the spiritual path. So it does not give us the confidence to venture into the path. It is a whole new path for women to get into when we don't see, when we don't have the live experience of somebody in it. So that is the first challenge even I also relate to with all the other panelists, that getting into here is one of the big challenge. And then thanks to, we have been blessed to be under the guidance of Prabhuji to start with here. And the other challenge that I see is the sustenance on this path. So as we are in, Shruti said, we are in this Maya Loka, so it always pulls us outward. So when I initially started the journey, so we weren't mature enough. So we had so many vasanas, and you're in the materialistic world. So, and when you head start with your job, you as a woman, there are very less women in our profession as well. So you have to want to put yourself ahead and prove your worth there as well. So you tend to get aggressive, and with all the vasanas, there is a deviation. So even though we are on the spiritual path, but in the Maya Loka, we tend to get lost proving to the world what we are and what are our capabilities in that profession. So this was another problem. We might get carried away with what we are doing in the Maya Loka. So, but as a sustenance, now we have the AVSC group, and my dear friend who is always there, be there my side to go on this journey, and Sadhguru's grace. So all these three things have kept together on a journey. So that is one other thing which every woman has to need to be in this journey. It's very difficult to walk alone, but if we have that sustenance and support with all the people around us, so it would really help us to continue in a consistent way and practice very sincerely. And another thing, as I said, we always try to go ahead and prove ourselves in the job, whatever we are pursuing. And also, as women, we have different dharma. We have Stri dharma, we have Vritti dharma, then Patni dharma, Putri dharma. We are into different roles, and that we like, there is no like barrier, as we say, in spiritual life and worldly life. So we interplay between all these roles continuously throughout our journey. So there tends to be like, sometimes we too tend to carried away with these roles. We give more importance to certain roles, and even though when we know that Swadharma or the spiritual path is the purpose of life, but we still tend to get carried away. So sometimes you are with a kid, or you're doing your duties, and you tend to carried away and get lost in the path and try to get possessive about them, and so many emotions keep coming over and over again. So that is another challenge that I see as a woman. We tend to get carried away with emotions sometimes. And now with all the practices Guruji has advised us, at least our emotions has come to it is not at peak all the time. So we are at a balance. And now I have recently passed through the quarter life crisis. So we are now in a state to balance our work as well, work and how much we have to give there, and how much, and we know what is our true purpose of life is to through the spiritual journey and know our true self. So this is helping us to stay on the journey, and with all the support from everybody on the AVSC group, it is keeping us focused and try to put a sincere and consistent effort each time and in every session. And this is what I had, like, on some of the key challenges that we face.
Thank you so much, Yashmita. All very, very relevant points. Now, you know what young people face. So we have taken a lot of time because it was very relevant. All the panelists have given such relevant inputs about the challenges faced by women. So we'll quickly move to the next round, which is a question answer round. We have a lot of questions for you, but I don't know, the time might not permit. So I have one common question to all the panelists. You know, at any point of time in your life, have you one specific specific incident where you felt, I wish I were a man? Have you felt that at any point of time? Any one specific incident can you remember? In still, let us say, in your spiritual pursuit, in specifically. If you can remember, fine. Or we'll come back with it. You please have this question, all of you, in your mind. And one specific question directed to Yashmita and Shruti. What are your views about marriage? Are you going in for marriage, or do you think that will also be a deterrent in your spiritual life? This is a question for both of you, Yashmita and Shruti, which you can answer right now.
Yeah, seeing all experienced people here, and we have seen very successful couple in the satsang also. So we try to take the insights from them, and yeah, it is a good journey to go along together. And it's like when you are together, and Guruji says that there are a lot of hardship. At least your husband will point out that to you. You're doing something wrong. There's always that pinch that you get every time. So you are on the track and never carried away. So it's good to be in a marriage.
Very good, very good. So I can see Shruti also nodding vigorously to that. So I assume Shruti is also, on the same line. Anything you want to add, Shruti, to that? You are muted.
Frankly speaking, marriage is a society thing, so we have to do. There is is no other option. It's not like we can't get married or something. So yeah, I feel it's another step, right? I feel okay, it's like a game. I feel like now life is a game. Okay, stage 3 is done, now stage 4 is marriage. So there will be always challenges. So I'm just bracing for it. Let's face the challenges, because I maybe we can't expect how a person is, right? A person can pretend, okay, I am good, or I support you, but later on we can't know what is in our fate, or what is the person is, or what he has. So we just have to, make ourselves strong and intact. That's it I have in my mind.
And you have all the qualifications now to get into, to tackle that Maya. One more Maya you can
Yeah.
tackle easily, right?
Yeah,
Because the
yes,
spiritual background, isn't it?
yes.
Wonderful.
Can I add something here, Purnima ji?
Yes, please.
Yeah, I go with Shruti, of course, when she said that marriage is a social thing, we can't escape from it. But I do have a personal experience here. My daughter, actually, even though I can say that I did not grow up as a spiritual follower, nor did I teach anything to my daughter, like be it a doing of any rituals, reading scripture, nothing at all. But maybe because of some good past deeds, I have entered here, and she also, in her own way, entered or following spirituality. And she actually says that she doesn't want to get married. Okay. And even though it may be very difficult to stay in the society for a woman to be single, but once you follow spirituality and apply it in all aspects of your life, I don't think it is difficult. And it is again a societal norm. If you follow, it is well and good. But even otherwise, if you try to know, or if you inquire who you are and you stand there on your true self, then all these don't matter at all. And I am in all support for my daughter, because as a mother, I really don't have any issue with her when she said that she doesn't want to get married. I am in fact so happy. And whenever I think of her and I imagine her as a Rishika, it is such a good feeling. So that's all I want to say.
Wonderful, Satyavati. That was my question to you next. What would you advise your daughter? And you have already answered it. So we are all in tune, we all think alike. Wonderful. So the next direct question is for Meenakshi ji. Meenakshi madam, do you have any advice to give to society on the whole? What should change in society for women to be, more allowed to pursue their spiritual goals? Meenakshi madam.
Yes. What I feel that for the first question which you are asked me, like, did you feel that you should have born as a man? I never felt.
Okay.
In fact, I started realizing that, gender is only for the body, but not for the spirit. Yes. And we can definitely achieve whatever we want, in spite of all the hurdles, or as rightly she said, no, Satyavati, it's all in how we approach and how we, perceive and how we endure and how positively we face the challenges. Okay. So I really feel that, in the upbringing of children, I feel there should not be any discrimination, and girls should be given opportunities and freedom and proper upbringing, because nowadays, as it's a Maya Loka, it's so difficult for the modern parents to, bring up their children because of lot of deviations, which are not conducive to the upbringing. But if parents need to be properly educated about the importance of inculcating good values, and also take them to spiritual path from early stages. Yes. If they are attuned to spiritual, upbringing, and parents should follow it, and they should inculcate into the children also. Correct. Definitely, they will. Children will be healthy citizens, and they will pursue in their spiritual path, and we can have a very good society. What I see in Atma Jyoti circle, I'm so overwhelmed with seeing so many types of programs wherein children are given wonderful exposures about science and spirituality, and rishikas, to know about our culture. And my God, it's diversified programs which are aiming at really, the ultimate path. Yes. I think if children are, the more children should be, whether it is japa, whether it is for value education, whether it is to know about our saints and sages, all have got wonderful meaning for the upbringing of children. I really enjoy. I'm so grateful to see, I'm in this group. Yes. It's a learning experience.
Yes, absolutely. So wonderful message there for Meenakshi ji. Yes, society has to do a lot of self-correction so that women are encouraged more and more. And like you made the mention, right, that women are looked upon as something strange is happening with her if she goes into the spiritual path, if she, devotes more time to her sadhana or japa. That is the basic strain that we could see in all the all the four panelists were saying the same, pointing to the same truth, that women are not given, they have so many roles to play, more so than men, where men are accepted easily if they go into other stuff, but the woman has as the anchor of the family. Correct. She has to, the balancing role of a woman is tremendous. And Prabhuji was telling us the other day that a woman is naturally inclined towards spirituality, because all the Shat Sampattis and the Sadhana Chatushtayas and the Shat Sampattis, Viveka, Vairagya, and Sahana, Titiksha, everything, Samadhana, she's naturally endowed with these qualities. Prabhuji was saying that. So it is very natural. That is why we see so many women in our group. They are naturally inclined towards it. So it is only correct that the woman should reach her full potential and realize her true nature.
Can I?
Yes. Satyavati.
Something to this point. Yashmita also said that women as a mother, she may get carried away through emotions, such things. Yeah, in fact, that emotionally, actually, women is blessed, because we are usually more emotional people and also right-handed. And so it is easy for us, in fact, even though the challenges may come in the society, through a proper guidance, in fact, it is easy for us, because these emotions can be redirected. See, we may get carried away, but through a proper spiritual discrimination, we can redirect these emotions and use them properly. That is one point I wanted to say. Correct. And for another question of yours, Purnimaji, have you ever felt, I already said, I used to feel, there were many occasions when I used to feel that how I wish if I were to be a man, because whenever there is a restriction that for coming late to house during my younger days, or maybe at the physical level, maybe monthly, every time, maybe I used to feel that how I wish if I were to be a man. But all that is a blessing and a boon to a woman. And as I said, there is no gender bias. And so also there used to be sometimes, not only as a man or a woman, maybe there were times for me in my life where I actually felt, why I am born, I want to end my life. That was the point for me, the challenges which I faced. But now I am so blessed and happy to have taken this human birth, the only human birth where I can attain the enlightenment and liberation. And I am so lucky to have got my Sadguru also. So I don't have repents for anything which has happened in my life. And I have also got the support of my family fully in this, even though I felt they are my enemies at one point of time, my daughter or husband. But now I am so thankful to them, because maybe because of all that, I ended up here now today. This was written in my karmic book. Wonderful. Very, very thankful for that.
I think Satyavati has summed it up all, for us. Thank you so much, all the panelists. I invite Prabhuji to say a few words and end with the closing prayer for us. Prabhuji, please.
Hari Om, everybody. It was a wonderful, it was a very enlightening talk by many of you. Actually, Hari Om, everybody. It was a wonderful, it was a very enlightening talk by. So it is from perspective of women to hear the challenges in spiritual life. It was very enlightening. In fact, women don't have challenges in spiritual life. Women have advantage in spiritual life, not even challenges. Okay, the challenges are in society, but women by birth, inborn, they don't have challenges. The spiritual qualities are required for a mukti are shama, dama, tidiksha, uparati, shraddha, samadhana, mumukshutva. So this is called shat sampati. Women are born with this Shat Sampatti. Men have to work for this. So by birth, you have got certain, you have an advantage in spiritual life as woman. But there are some certain handicaps in society. The handicaps in society, the problem is this society, the spiritual life, somehow it has got a concept that it has, you have to become a monk. Spiritual life is against married life. Okay. The spiritual life is positioned as opposite of married life. So that is where the problem is. Spiritual life and married life have nothing to do with the spiritual journey. Spiritual journey is about purification, antaranga shuddhi, bahiranga shuddhi, inner purification and outer purification. It's an inner journey. Okay. But any spiritual practice, there are many things which society bars women from spiritual practice. Somebody sitting with closed eyes for some time, family members will worry something has happened to this person. Okay, what's happening to you? Because you should be talking, walking and doing something. Not doing something, sitting silently itself it creates a feeling of tension in the other people. Right? So spirituality requires inner journey, which requires a contemplation and meditation. And especially in a married life, if husband is not evolved, the wife sitting silently for some time creates a lot of tension. Then in spiritual journey, it requires a spiritual education, what we call as everybody should get a spiritual education. So in earlier days, in Vedic time, the boys and girls used to get a spiritual education. What is spiritual education? What is Atma? What is Paramatma? How do I purify myself? All those is spiritual education. That's why in Upanishads and Vedas, we see many Rishikas, women sages. What happened in the society changed in India? And that society change caused a problem for spiritual education for women, especially girls. Education has to start at a young age. Difficult to give a spiritual education at a young age for the girls because of society pressure. We had a lot of foreign invasions, attacks. The women became the first victim of this outer changes in the society. The spiritual education went down, but women had a religious education. Everything in the house, the puja, the rituals, the festivals. Today, if Sanatana Dharma is what is there today, it's because the woman upheld the cultural and religious values. Outside anything may be happening, war may be happening, but inside the house, women followed certain religious values. And that's where we are today as a society. Something we are maintaining is because of the women. Grahini, Grahamuchyate. Woman gives the life to the house. The dharma followed by women in India has maintained the society. But there is a transition from what we call as dharma to jnana. From dharma is required, religious values are required for purification. Spiritual journey is inner journey. It requires education, atma jnana, atma vichara. It requires an environment which supports it, a society which supports it. So that was a challenge for women. Even it was a challenge for men also. You have heard in earlier days, the man leaves his house and goes to some ashram or Himalayas somewhere. It is not about Himalayas. It's not about ashram. It is a play. He has to find somebody who is knowledgeable, educated to find. That is not available in nearby. You have to go far away. So that is another challenge. Education, spiritual education, finding the right master. Fortunately for us today, the technology is such that the spiritual teaching can reach every house. Ghar ghar can become Gurukul. And the spiritual values from religion to spiritual transition becomes very simple because of the communication. And education, we have to bring the education at the very young level, children. That education also, because of the modern communication, it's easy. For example, for myself, if I have to find a master, I have to search for many places. It is not available nearby, anywhere it's not available. I have to go in search of the master. Men, it was easy. For women, it's very difficult because where they will go? Outside. In that sense, we are in a transition point in society. The spiritual education can help women who are dharmic, they can get a spiritual values, spiritual education sitting at home. Every house can be a Gurukul. Gar Gurukul, Man Mandir is possible only with women taking the lead. In fact, I would say women don't have challenges, women have advantages, and that advantages to be converted into Atmano Mokshartam Jagaditaya.
Thank you so
Hari
much, Prabhuji. Hari Om. Will you close this session with the prayer so that we can start the next session at 11:30?
Another problem is there for women is they have a lot of multiple responsibilities, taking care of family, in-laws, multiple direction pulls and pushes. So these pulls and pushes, they have to learn to balance. But with good spiritual education, family life, stress of family life can be handled very well. Spiritual education is required. That's very important. That's what was missing for many times, many years or many generations. That's what you have to bring back in the society. And don't expect that correction is required in the society. Society cannot be corrected. We have to correct. We should be the leaders. We should be the Atma Jyotis. We take the light to the society. Don't expect any light from the society. Society is always darkness.
Yes.
You are the people who have to take the light. Don't say society has to change. No. It is you. It is I who have to take the light. You are the light.
Wonderful, Prabhuji.
I think it's been an amazing panel.
Audio.
It has been an amazing panel. Can you hear me now?
Not able to hear.
We are able to hear, Vani.
Okay. So it's been an amazing panel with so many interesting perspectives by all the panelists. We have had perspectives from Dr. Meenakshi, from Satyavati, from Shruti and Yashmita, each from their own angle, and yet it forms an integrated whole to give us a wonderful picture of spiritual life challenges which are faced by women. And I think Purnima ji has been a truly amazing moderator, sharing her views and then integrating what everybody has said for all of us and managing the time also so beautifully. And we are so grateful to each one of you and to Prabhuji for his illuminating words of wisdom on the topic of challenges faced by women in spiritual life. And Prabhuji has said we are eminently qualified, better than men for spiritual life. Thank you, Prabhuji. Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
So, Pandiji, today I'm seeing you have given equal space for Vasu for in the video camera. Otherwise, Vasu will only half the space. I don't know what you have done. I've never seen Vasu's space only half
I'm also getting over gender bias, Prabhuji.
Okay.
So we request Prabhuji to close the session. Before that, do log in again at 11:30 for our Kannada panel. We have different moderated by Katyayani, and we have again very illustrious panelists in that also, who will share on Adhyatma Mattu Grahastha Jivana. So do log in at 11:30, and we request Prabhuji to take us through the ending prayers.
Let us sit silently for some time. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuduchyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nanu Nanembudu Nanalla Ideha Manabuddhi Nanalla Sachidanandatma Shivananu Nani Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm pure consciousness, Shivaswarupi. Atmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Brahmadarshanam Satyadarshanam. To know the self is to know God. To know God is to be God. To be God is to know the truth. Antarjyotihi, Bahirjyotihi, Pratyakjyotihi, Paratpara, Jyotireva Jyotihi, Swayam Jyotihi, Atma Jyotihi, Shivosmiham. I am the light of the self, awareness, Atma Jyoti. I am the light illuminating the entire world, Jagat Jyoti. I am light beyond all lights, Paranjyoti. I am self-luminous light, light of love, compassion, wisdom, and peace. Lokaha samastaha sukino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukino bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Slowly open your eyes. It's a wonderful program, a very good beginning for Jnana Jyoti. So, and the right beginning. Jnana Jyoti means fire of knowledge. Atma Jyoti means light of the self. Light of the self should translate into fire of knowledge. Fire of knowledge should burn the ignorance in society. Don't think that society will give any wisdom. Our wisdom should go into society. You have made a right beginning with this Jnana Jyoti. Many of you will be able to carry forward this Jnana and show the light to the society.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, one and all.